Course rating is the foundation of the USGA handicap system, and without it, people can't post scores and therefore cannot maintain a handicap. So what we're doing here today is we're helping Sandpiper Golf Club as well as the guests who come play here to help them maintain a handicap at their home course. This is part of the USGA handicap system, and what it does is rating all 575 courses in Southern California allows golfers with a handicap to compete equitably with each other when they go to different golf courses. So people who play at Sandpiper versus somebody who plays at San Diego Country Club, they should be able to have a fair match. Jim, I got you and Taylor together, and we're gonna leapfrog like we always do. So I got you guys going to hole number 1. I've got 6 guys. I got them in groups of 2, teams of 2. A couple guys will go rate the first hole, a couple guys go rate the second hole. We rate the third hole and we kind of leapfrog over each other. We're not hitting any shots right now. We're out there measuring fairways, looking at bunkers, measuring the size of the greens, contour of the greens, how far it is to the out of bounds and water hazards and things like that. And we're keeping track of all that information on these sheets. That part of it takes about 2 hours. These sheets get filled out while we're out there doing the rating. We do play the golf course when we're done to look at it from a playing standpoint, but we're not really playing around the golf. We're hitting balls, but we're exchanging paperwork to kind of critique each other, see if anybody missed anything when we're out there doing the rating. We're measuring the difficulty of each shot, so if it's a par 5, we're rating the first shot, the second shot, the third shot, and so forth. So we look at 26 different evaluations on each tee. So a course like this has 4 sets of tees. We're looking at about 2,500 evaluations to get the final numbers. We now use GPS to measure all of our golf courses. Back in the day, we used to use lasers, and even before that, we used ropes and strings and stretched them out, and it was an all-day process. Now, one person with this can measure 4 sets of tees here at Sandpiper in about 2 hours and 20 minutes. The laser is used to measure fairway widths, and this one actually, even though it's against the rules of golf, we don't use it when we play, but we use it to measure elevation. And on the side here, it tells me that we are up 3.8 yards. So that means something as far as shot selection on topography. A stimp meter is a 3-foot long slotted bar. And what we do is, you can see Bob doing here, he's rolling the ball off the stimp meter. We roll 3 balls in each direction, so the grain is taken into account. And what this tells us is how fast the greens are. So during the Masters, you hear numbers like these greens are simping at 14 feet. What that really means is it's 14 feet from where the ball comes off the stimp meter to where it stops rolling.
When the system gets all done, what happens is that you come up with a course rating for the scratch golfer, and then you get a rating for the bogey golfer. And when you plot on a graph the difference between what a scratch golfer should shoot and what a bogey golfer should shoot, and draw a straight line, if you remember mathematics, the slope of that line is where our slope comes from. So that when you look at the course rating, it doesn't necessarily, the slope rating doesn't necessarily tell you how much harder a particular course is. It tells you how much more difficult is it for a bogey golfer compared to a scratch golfer.
I don't think anybody needs to be a perfect golfer to be an effective course rater. I think an experienced golfer is helpful regardless of your skill level, but you've got to be very familiar with the course rating system that the USGA has developed.
They're all volunteers. I'm the only staff guy here. I go on every rating. These guys are volunteers. They're very well trained. They've been doing this for 15, 20 years. We have seminars every spring that if they don't go on, they don't get a rate that year. I put them on my inactive list. So it's just their way of giving something back to the game. And without them, we can't do it.